Welcome, 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 you guys! This is Tassindra. I've decided to start a side campaign on Valkyria Chronicles. This is a game that I played quite a bit back when I had my PlayStation 3, which I believe it wasn't exclusive on PlayStation 3 for a while. This was made by Sega. And, boy, where to begin? This is a very beautiful story. It's tragic, it's sad, but it has its good, like, sort of upbeat moments as well. It is proper, like, JRPG in a nutshell. It does have sort of the turn-based system with a little bit of a twist. I think it's called the Blitz system when it comes to combat. But here's the thing. This game has a very hard focus on story. It essentially plays like a book, and you sort of go through all the chapters and then sub chapters, and then there's missions where you fight, and then there's mission where there's just a story, and then there's like optional stuff just to get a bit more. Essentially, how I want to do this is I want to divide this up into story sort of episodes and then combat episodes, where I can sort of just take my time, go through the story, give my thoughts, and then I'll cut it there before the combat begins, and then I can have sort of an exclusive combat episode for those of you that are more interested in that, and where I will be trying to get A rank or S rank, I don't remember, on all of the missions. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything else I should cover here, but there is an intro that I've been sort of trying to avoid by clicking the buttons here. I think I'll let it play once it starts, because this sort of takes place in an alternate version of Europe, essentially. There is sort of the East versus West sort of Cold War issue, but it is in a fantasy world with some fantasy stuff in it, and I think the intro does not exactly explain much, but it does sort of show you what the stakes are. And there is another intro when I press new game where it's gonna be going into finer detail about that. But now the intro won't play, will it? That's unfortunate, isn't it? It is very, very unfortunate. When did this come out? I think it was 2004? When did the PlayStation 3 come out? I don't actually remember. If I press escape, will the intro play now? There is, if you go on Steam, you can get Valkyria Chronicles 1, which is this one, and 4, which you can then download and play. Valkyria Chronicles 2 and 3 were on, I think, the 3DS, and I think number 2 never got an English translation. There is essentially a fan-translated ROM of Valkyria Chronicles 2 out there somewhere, which I would love to get my hands on if I can get that thing to work again. But it looks like the intro is just not going to play. Is there a way to force that? Let me see here. If I go to extras... No. Does not look like it. That is unfortunate. Oh well. Let's go. New game. And I'm gonna warn you guys a bit. The music in this game is a bit up and down, because this is like a PlayStation 3 port. So some of them might be a bit too loud, but there's nothing I can do about it. I'm sorry. But yes, let's go.
The year was 1935 EC. Two powers controlled the continent. In the east, the sun rose over the autocratic East European Imperial Alliance, otherwise known as the Empire. In the West, a network of loosely allied democracies formed the Atlantic Federation. Both powers depended on a precious mineral ragnite for their survival, and its growing scarcity led to the inevitable war. Hostilities began in the East when the Empire aggressively crossed their western border. The Atlantic Federation responded, and the Second European War was on. The Empire, with its vast military superiority, struck hard, gaining ground in early victories and putting the Federation on the defensive. Emboldened by their progress and momentum, the Empire set their sights beyond the borders of the Federation. In neighboring Gallia, a peaceful principality along the sea, they found their next victim. Gallia had long maintained its neutrality in the tensions between the two superpowers. But the rich stores of ragnite under the Gallian soil proved too tempting for the Empire. It amassed troops along the eastern border and invaded with all the force of an avalanche.
I forgot to mention the graphics. Oh, that sort of watercolor.
Prologue. Gallia to arms.
The watercolor art is just absolutely beautiful. So let's see here. New episode has been added. So I believe that this essentially was meant to be played on a console. Oh yes, I did test to make sure that I could save. Yes, that's what I did. So, as you can see there on the right, there is an episode 0. This is the prologue, but there are chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4 there. You can see that number 3 has a different sort of feel to it. It looks different. Because that is the combat map. But I'm going to go through essentially the prologue, and then afterwards we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of this and see where we stand. But here we go. First one, and we're just going to play this. Space. Yes.
March 1935. Outside the Gallian border town of Brule. Residents are leaving the town before the invasion, headed inland towards the capital.
I haven't been down this road in years. It really hasn't changed very much. Whoa. Already? Hey there, guys. You're beautiful. Starting early this year. You're heading upstream, huh? How's the water?
Freeze! Put your hands in the air. Slowly. Haven't seen you around before. What's your name?
My name's Welkin. And you are?
The one with the gun. We're with the Bruletown Watch. I'm Alicia. Alicia Melchiot. So, I'm wondering what you've been writing in that little book you've got there. Imperial spies are in the area.
This book is nothing, really. I was just sketching the fish and, you know...
Yes. Oh, I know. And you know there's a war on, don't you? All right then, Mr. Artist. We'll talk about fish sketching down at the station. Take him away.
Thanks, fish.
I don't think it was the fish. So that's the introduction to the main character there. That's the guy with the sketchbook. He's a bit of a natural science geek. You You could also saw in the intro that the map of the area, it was sort of like a map of Europe, except like Germany and Poland and a bit of France was just sort of squished together. And there was no Denmark, you know, thank God for that. Nobody's gonna miss them. But like, it sort of went up from like the British Isles, sorry, the Great Britain, and then it went to like Latvia and Estonia. And I think that's what this Gallia is meant to be. It's one of those, is it Balkans or Baltic? I keep mixing them together. They're not even in the same area. But yeah, and this man was sketching some fish, and then he got apprehended by the militia of the town of Brule, which is where they're heading. I also remember, I was checking the map once, and I did see that one of the areas that was in the Alliance was called Rhineland. So yeah, it's very, very Europe-based, you can tell that. Let's see here. The Imperial attack.
Flowers, bugs, and fish. You're not bad with a pen, are you? I have to say, they're really very good.
Thank you. So you see, I really was just sketching.
Maybe. Or this could be some kind of secret code. And I intend to take my time finding out for sure.
Great.
Welks? Is that you?
Isara! Oh, your timing is perfect.
Notice her hair color?
What have you gotten yourself into now, Welkin? Wait. Don't you live at the old general's house? That's right. I'm General Gunther's daughter, Isara. You do know everyone's supposed to evacuate, right? Yes, I'm aware of that. My brother's here to help me move to the capital, but that may be difficult. I mean, unless you're willing to let him go, that is. Huh? I apologize, but I was just doing my job, you know. I saw you with the notebook and thought you were a spy. Again, I'm really sorry about that.
Thanks. Don't worry about it. I can see how I might have looked a little suspicious.
Welks has a real passion for observing nature. That's why he's studying it at the university, right?
Guilty as charged. I get so into it sometimes I forget where I am, or that somebody might be watching me.
Gunfire! Everyone keep your heads down!
Over there! Come on! Damn it!
Welkin, you can handle a gun, right?
Yeah. I mean, I made it through training anyway.
Well, they're probably just a small scouting team. We should be able to take them out.
I'm with you.
Yeah, this story doesn't pull any punches, does it? Oh, yeah, that was, Oh yeah, thank you. About saving the game. Yes, yes, yes. We don't need to worry about that. Let's save before the op, because I do want to get this first sort of prologue done. But if you notice that Isara, his sister, she has a different hair color compared to everybody in this world, and she has that shawl, that hand-embroidered shawl. It is a very sensitive subject in sort of talking about prejudice and well, racism outright. But essentially, she is a minority, and it sort of comes up a lot in this game. So it is a bit... It addresses racism and prejudice, and if that's not really something that you are capable of handling, this story might be a bit rough for you. And as you saw, the game, this story doesn't pull any punches. Those civilians just got shot. That kid, that woman and the man just got butchered. So, yeah. But I am going to go ahead and we're going to finish this prologue, and then I'll start divvying up the episodes by story and combat. But this one is going to be just an introductory one. This is very, very simple, and it's a very easy one to get max ranks out of it, because you just sort of just blow right through it.
Okay, here's the plan.
Oh yeah, there's a briefing before every mission. She has time during this... during the time when those 4 civilians got shot. She's going to brief me on the situation beforehand. We've got to eliminate the Imperial scouts that are approaching Brule. We'll deploy from here and take out all 3 of them. So there's just 3 dudes. Just cross the bridge and take them down as fast as you can. Our objective here is to eliminate all enemies. Let's take care of them one at a time, nice and easy. So, victory conditions. All enemies defeated. Failure, either Welkin or Alicia dies. So you get to know her name even before she tells you it. Or 20 turns pass. I think you have to do this in 1 turn to get the highest rank.
Let's get started. Just stay calm and get it done.
Yeah, her name is also there as well. I don't think she ever introduces herself. It just gets dumped on you like this. It's like a very bad DM in a D&D game.
I see 3 of them.
That's 3 too many. Stay sharp. Listen a second. There's something I should explain.
Yeah, they're going to tutorialize us, so we'll just go through it. Command points. When combat starts, you'll see a map of the area and your unit's position. This is referred to as command mode. Here you'll select the unit you'd like to move based on their position respective to the enemy. Then press space. Not space. Doing so uses up one of the command points displayed at the top of the screen. They reflect your ability as a commander and represent the number of times you can give instructions. Your units per each player phase. In this battle, you have 3 command points, so you can issue instructions to your units up to 3 times. Let's try moving a unit now. So, I only get 3 command points, and I have to kill 3 of these scouts. So they're spread out around the area. Scouts do fire back on your turn. So if I'm gonna rush towards them, they are gonna shoot back. So I'm gonna play as Alicia because I think she's technically better than Watkins. Action points. Use CP to select a unit in command mode and you'll be plunged into action mode. Here you can freely move the unit you selected around the field. As you move around in action mode, the AP, action points, gauge at the bottom of the screen will gradually deplete. This represents that unit's mobility. Once it reaches 0, the unit will be unable to move any further. Keeping an eye on the unit's remaining AP while they are in motion is critical to keeping them safe. And there's the first guy, just he's got his back towards you. So WASD to move the unit near the sandbags. Yeah. So there is, I believe, is it I? No, you. There is a way to. So Q is map. E is to attack. Enter target mode. Q and E to select sort of snap between targets. Enemies will not attack while you are in target mode, so take your time and aim well. Your shots will land somewhere within the circle surrounding the crosshairs, so it's best to center it on the entire target. Yeah, eventually your like the guns you have are better and more accurate because that's a really big circle there. Shots to the head or other weak points will result in greater damage. A unit can only attack from target mode up to once per action, so choose wisely before you open fire. If the target survived your attack, they may then launch a counterattack. A damaged unit may not have the HP to survive the enemy's counter, so be careful when planning your attack. So, I don't want to shoot right now. I am looking for the... So this is the numpad. There we go. Yeah, okay. I thought there was a way to move slowly. Oh yeah, so the arrow key. So the WASD is to run. The arrow keys are to walk. How do I... I'm trying to figure out all the keys here, because it's only on keyboard. My mouse does literally nothing, I believe. Oh, I got information there. Was that F? Yeah, I get information on the dude here. Interesting. I don't know how I turn the camera. It's probably... Yeah, I turn the camera with the mouse! The mouse does something. What do you know? Okay, so we want to get right up to his face. He's not turning his... he's not looking at me. And we kind of just want to get his head. So we hit, 2 of these shots need to hit the head. So I shoot with space or F? Yeah. So, that's very simple. The guy wasn't even shooting back. About ending actions. A unit with 0 remaining AP that has already performed an attack in target mode is unable to act further. Press escape to end their current action. This will return you to command mode. There you will be able to select the next unit you wish to direct. You can press escape and end the unit's action even if they have not attacked and still have AP. But we're not going to do that because we need to kill all 3 of them with Alicia. So now that I know the mouse actually does something, we get more tutorials about using cover. Yes, there are sandbags here. These guys will shoot at us. When standing near sandbags, the command crouch will appear. Press space to take cover behind them. It's actually good that the port from PlayStation to PC has all the actual buttons that you have on the keyboard, because if it didn't, this would be very annoying. While hiding behind cover, units are harder to target, take less damage, and are immune to headshots and critical damage. That is true. Meanwhile, units caught out in the open by enemy attacks will be easier to hit and could take significantly more damage. Advance carefully, moving from cover to cover, and always try to end your action safely hidden from harm. Doing so should keep your troops alive long enough to secure victory for Gallia. Yes, or you could simply wait until the enemy reloads and then run. So, we're going to tank these hits in the beginning here. And, okay, so we're going to end the current action here. She reloads. Lovely. And then we go again.
Moving out.
Hello. Oh, I can use the moose. The moose! I can use the mouse!
Now.
There we go. 2 hits. He's dead. And the missions get more interesting later on. This also, by the way, is a class system. And there are other than just the classes, because there's technically a tank as well, and certain other units like orders, and it gets far more interesting, especially if you play on some of the harder missions, because there is a difficulty curve from easy, normal to hard, and you can play all of those.
My turn, okay?
Yes, it is only your turn. Let's see here. We'll aim with a mouse.
Now.
Hey, there we go. So, oh, Jesus, the legs don't bend that way. That poor guy.
I don't see any more of them.
Nope, they're all dead. It's A rank. So we get experience points that gets added to a pool, and then you can distribute the experience to whatever class of units you want, and we get it, that gets explained far better later on. But you can see on this screen here, we have the number of turns it took, the rank you got, and then there's bonuses for defeating certain things. There are tanks, light, medium, heavy, and destroyer, and then there are leaders, and then there are enemy aces. Aces are annoying to kill. They are really, really annoying to kill. But if you kill an enemy ace, you get their special weapon, and there are a limited amount of those weapons in the game. And I want to get all of the ace weapons. Even though some of them are not great, they are still better than the traditional. And you only get one, so you get... If you upgrade the weapons on your units, all units get that same one. But if you get a weapon from an ace, you only get one of those guns, and you have to equip that one gun on whatever soldier you want. So you can keep that sort of in the back of your head. This dude has this ace gun that has really, really high damage, but really shitty accuracy. So, yeah, let's see here. Press space. A new episode has been added. A Hilltop Promise. So let's just finish this one off, shall we?
Miss Melchiot, there's no other sign of the enemy.
Good. Now, go keep watch and stay alert.
Yes, ma'am. What should we do with the bodies, ma'am?
We'll bury them. So it's begun. I'll do whatever it takes to protect the people of this town. I'll do it. Even going to war, I'll do it. What are those?
Seeds from the lion's paw. It blooms white, small, simple, and strong.
I want to be able to remember, once the war is over, that it wasn't all just people killing people. That even in war, there was also new life.
On the 15th day of the 3rd month of the year 1935, the Empire began its assault in earnest. A formal declaration of war was made upon Gallia. Though it was only a small front in a massive continental assault, what followed would prove that a tiny nation could best a military giant. These events would tell a story of tragedy hidden in the mists of time. A story of courage and of trust, of persecution and hate.
Yep.
And of love blooming even through the flames of war.
There's that as well.
What follows is a record of this conflict and of those who fought, lived, and died. Chapter 1. In Defense of Brule.
Yeah. Oh boy, this is such a nostalgic trip for me. Oh, this is so good. So that was the prologue. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it here. But in the future, I will be essentially divvying up the episodes with story and then combat. As you saw right now, the combat is very, very relaxed. But it won't always be. So, yeah. I hope you guys are looking forward to joining me on this nostalgic trip. But I will see you guys in the next episode. But until then, see ya. And thanks for watching.